Hello all, welcome to the new video. In this video we'll be learning about computer networking. It's a new unit. You know what a computer networking is? It's just a network of computers. That means one computer is connected with another computer. So we'll see what more we have to learn about computer networks. So, as an introduction, we can say that the computer network is a collection of interconnected computers and other devices which are able to communicate with each other. So, it can be also considered as a collection of hardware components and computers interconnected by communication channels. See, there are some technical terms and terminologies related to computer networks. We'll study it later. But in simple words, we can say that computer network is a collection of interconnected computers, or in this scenario, we can call them nodes also. So there is a communication channel established between all these interconnected devices. In this communication channel, at least one process in one device is able to send or receive data to or from at least one process residing in a remote device. Then the two devices are said to be in network. So what are the advantages of having a network between the computers? So the first one is resource sharing. Of course, you can share the resources you are having. It is cost saving. Collaborative user interaction, which means that we are using Google Sheets, right? So same resource can be used by two people at different locations. It of course it saves the times, increase storage, etc. So these are the different advantages of network. So what are the disadvantages of network? Is there any different disadvantages? Yes, there are disadvantages of networks. If a networks are badly managed, so services can be unusable and the productivity fails. It means that if it is not maintained properly, there may be some problems, of course you know about the security issues. And if softwares and files are held centrally, it may be impossible to carry out any work if the central server fails. That means if somebody, if a computer is holding, you don't have a local copy, and if something happens to the central server, then what happens? You will not be able to do the work locally. And file security is the most important one, especially when it is connected to a network, that is WAN networks. Protection should be there from malwares, viruses, etc. And to handle a network of organization, you need a specialist person. It's not a normal person handling this network. This network has to be maintained by a network specialist. Now, how did this started? See, everything started, every evolution of network started from 1969. So it started in 1969, where first network came into existence, and the name of the first network was ARPANET. It was done by the National Science Foundation network. It was done by done for the process of defense. Actually, the defense people, they need some connectivity for changing their data, to giving the information, etc. So the first internet network was named as ARPANET, and the full form of ARPANET is Advanced Research Project Agency Network. And then came the NSFNet. It is National Science Foundation Network. It was in middle 80s. It's the second network. And you can see that ARPANET was there for US defense, and again it led the way for the next network, that is the NSFNet. Again in 1990s, internet came. Actually, it is a combination. You can say that it is a combination of all these ARPANET, NSFNet, and other private networks. So internet is a network of networks. So you can say that the earlier first form of internet is the ARPANET, then it comes to NSFNet, and then the internet. So internet can be considered as a network of networks, and normally in simple language we call it as just net. There is a provision for sending and receiving every type of communication. Facilities are there consisting of internet connected networks using some standardized protocols. Protocols are nothing but some rules. And what is intranet? Actually, intranet is also a communication network, but within a private network. It will be a private network. For example, say if there is a communication channel or just a network for just a school. Consider the case of school. There is internet for the whole people or people in the world, but in the school to communicate, if you are having a communication channel or you are having a net only for school, then it becomes an intranet. So internet user can avail services of the internet, whereas as the internet user cannot access of intranet directly. That's the difference. The intranet is only for the people inside the school or any other organization, but internet is for all the public. Now, what is InterSpace? InterSpace is a client server software program that allows multiple users to communicate online with real-time audio, video, text chat, and dynamic 3D environment. So, online video conferencing is an example of InterSpace where only some people are involved and they are able to communicate with online with real-time audio. That means live interaction is happening. So, that's known as InterSpace. Now, in this networking scenario, you need to know how the data is being transferred from one computer to another computer. So, there is information has to be the path through which this communication goes from the sender to the receiver is a communication channel, and there are three types of switching techniques. The information that we are giving or the sender is sending has to be switched from as it goes through from one channel to the next. So there are three switching techniques. One is circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. So what do you mean? These are the different switching methods: circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. Again, the packet switching is divided into datagram switching as well as virtual circuit switching. In circuit switching, as you can see, the circuit switching means there should be a complete physical connection between two computers for the data to be transmitted. For example, when a call is being placed from one phone to another, there should be the system should seek out a physical path from where the sender has to send the data. So you can see the example. See here, we are having sender one, sending computer, and it is a receiving computer. So when something is being sent from this to this, there should be some channel to go through, right? So that is actually switching. So the circuit has to be connected between one system to another system. That is known as circuit switching. So when there is another system trying to connect with this one, there are some interconnected devices there. So some channel is to be physically enabled to communicate with the next one. Maybe connection oriented maybe there may be a physical contact may be there, or maybe another without contact also. That now Wi-Fi facilities available, Bluetooth are available, whatever may be, there may be some medium of communication established between one to the another. That is known as a circuit switching. Now the circuit is terminated when the connection is lost. In circuit switching, you can see the resources remain allocated during the full length of communication. After a circuit is established, until the circuit is terminated, the whole allocated resources are allocated to that particular channel for the sender as well as the receiver. Now coming to the packet switching. Packet switching is actually cutting down the data. For example, consider this example. This is the sender. You are sending an email to a person sitting at some other place. So this is, you are the sender and this is the receiver here. So you are sending your whole email, and the whole emails are divided into different packets. Here 4 packets are there, and these columns, these rounds are different computers in between, or maybe some networking devices in between. All these are networking devices in between. What happens here is whatever data you are sending is divided into 4 equal parts, and these equal parts are known as packets. Okay, and these packets are being sent from your system to the second system. How? As different packets, and these packets are not going in a serial manner. It can go through any path that has been established from the sender to the receiver. So you can see so many paths here. This is one path available. This is another path available. This is the another path available to reach the destination. So these are so many options are there, but there are so many options are there, so many paths are available. There are other techniques to find out which path is better, but whatever the path may be, the data is they are divided into different packets, and these packets take different routes to reach the destination. See, at the destination, ultimately all the packets are um, uh, kept together, and then they are received by the receiver. So whatever you have sent will be received at the end as such, but the path taken may be different. So that's not a circuit packet switching, where the packets are rerouted from the sender to the receiver. Now coming to the message switching, this is another mode of switching, where data is first stored in one node, and it is forwarded to another node to transfer the data to the another node. You can see there is no upper bound on the size of the packet, whereas in packet switching each packet to be of a fixed size. That's the difference between message switching and packet switching. The packet switching, each packet is of fixed size. In message switching, there is no upper bound on the size. So we'll see an example here. See, here the sender is A and the receiver is B. I am sending two messages. The messages is as a whole it is being sent. So first the message will come to the S1, and I told you this circle represents either a computer or a networking device. It comes to S1, it will stored there, and when S2 is clear, it goes there. Again, when S4 is clear, it goes there, and it again goes to S6, and then it takes come to B. So the message 1 takes the first path, and the message 2 is taking another path. See, taking another path to B. See how these paths are selected is another technology, where you are finding out the shortest path. You have some algorithms for that, but this is how message works. It is as a whole, the message as a whole is stored in the computers or the network devices in between, and then it is sent to the receiver. So this is the end of computer networking part 1. We'll see the remaining in the next video. Thank you.